Okay. Beta. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from that.
Hey, y'all, what it do? Still with the camera shot like a line. Big boss hog, boss dog. Can't pull through the door, here to talk to this box. Fucking my soliloquy, remember telltales don't last. Good people do not sell. Caught him in the fall, I mean, be man. A peak game. 84's of West Wayne. Your boys put it to the gym. I'm tired, man. I worked the graveyard shift last night, man. Trying to get some extra money in before I go out of town, man. I'm going out the country. And let me remind y'all, I got videos all the way up to August. You know what I'm saying? Recorded. So a lot of these topics that y'all think I'm behind on, whatever, I already recorded it. On this channel and Clutch Factory. You know what I mean? Clutch Factory, I got a lot recorded, but I don't got a lot of stuff to August. I think I got to the middle of July on Clutch Factory. But on this channel, bro, I'm telling you, man, all the way to August on Boss Hog Boxing. So Boss is working. I'm working big on real life and on this YouTube, bro. I ain't running for no smoke. You know what I mean? We putting in work. We coming down. We doing our thing. Now, this video gonna be about Shakur Stevenson, right? Shakur Stevenson is set to fight Williams Zepeda today, right? He weighed in at the 135-pound limit. He putting his WBC belt on the line. They talk about this gonna be a great fight for Shakur Stevenson, and you know, he's looking to put on a show. I think Shakur Stevenson is gonna dominate Williams Zepeda. It's gonna be a boring fight because Shakur gonna dominate him. It's gonna be one side. It's not gonna be entertaining. Shakur gonna beat the brakes off of this man, bro. Like, for real. He's gonna give him a boxing lesson. It's levels to this, right? But to get back on topic, right? And this ain't gonna be a long video. It'll probably be like 9 minutes. So bear with me. Shakur has to separate business from family, business from friendships. He has to separate the two, okay? You can't intertwine them. What am I talking about? And this is why I feel like has hurt Shakur Stevenson's brand is he don't know how to separate the two, right? Nobody wants to hear Shakur Stevenson talk about, this is my brother, I would never fight him. I'm talking about Keyshawn Davis. Nobody wants to hear him talk about, oh, Abdullah Mason, you know, this is my brother, or, you know, he a young dude, da-da-da. Nobody want to hear that, okay? And this is why his brand has taken a hit, right? It's because of that. Which makes people not want to watch you because you claiming that you won all these fights, you gonna fight anybody, but then when they start mentioning names, I won't fight him because, you know, like, he a little dude, you know? No, bro. Like the Floyd Schofield fight, I get it, man. He pulled out, he was sick, you know what I'm saying? Pause, but at the end of the day, if you can't get these bigger names, that needs to be a fight that you need to entertain again. You know what I mean? You need to entertain the Keyshawn Davis, whether he at 135 or 140. You need to entertain that. You need to entertain that Abdullah Mason, right? You need to entertain all these fights. You know what I mean? At 135. If that boy Raymond Ford move up to 135, you need to entertain that too, right? You got to understand, you got to separate business from family, bro. At the end of the day, y'all helping each other out. At the end of the day, you putting money in each other's pocket. You feel me? That's just how it is in this boxing game, right? If you fight these said fights, this boosts your brand, right? Because if, God forbid, something happened to you and you can't box no more, these other dudes not finna give you money every month. You're gonna have to figure it out as a man, right? That's real talk. So it's just like at the end of the day, he gotta get on that type of time where it's him versus everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. You gotta get on that type of time, bro. Because you trying to get to the top. You trying to get to the top, but you trying to bring other people to the top. One mistake I made when I was younger was I was always trying to bring people with me as I would accomplish things. And I quickly learned that everybody ain't meant to go with you, right? I quickly learned that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people that's preying on your downfall. That's one thing. Or you got people that ain't putting the same amount of energy and commitment into things like you do. You feel what I'm saying? Or, you know, it's just that like you just, in his essence, in his instance, just not fighting the fights that we want to see. We would love to see him fight Keyshawn, right? We would love that. But you want to sit there, oh man, you know, man, that's like my brother, man. I know since he was 13. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? You need to fight him, bro. You know, that Yadier Herrera, that dude that got 17 wins and 16 knockouts, you need to fight him too. Like anybody that wants smoke, you need to fight them boys, bro. But you trying to, you was once that young hungry pup, right? Now that you made it to the top, so-called, you don't want to give these young dudes opportunity. That's one thing I respect about David Benavidez. David Benavidez didn't have to get David Morrell a shot, but he gave him one anyway. He said, you talking? Cool, let's fight. Right? I can't get the Canelo fight. That's the fight everybody want. I can't get that, so I'll fight him. Let me fight you then. And get David Morrell opportunity, and David Morrell did not disappoint in his opportunity. So all I'm saying at the end of the day is this. You got to look at this as a business opportunity. Your objective, you're trying to get a Tank fight or surpass Tank, right? Why not start fighting guys that Tank has not fought yet? Right? Go after the races. Go after Devin Haney. Go after these guys. Not talk about it publicly. Go after them. Like, hey, bro, look, what's up? I'm available. You available. Let's try to work out a deal. I don't care. You know, I'll be the B-side, whatever. I just want to fight. And that's what that is. And you try to work something out. Because at the end of the day, it's about business. You know what I'm saying? In business, sometimes you got to make sacrifices, right? Because if you make that sacrifice, you get the fight that you want. You beat that person. Yesterday's price is not today's price. I've been saying that for the longest. You will be able to sit there, and if you beat said guy, then you can start dictating, hey, bro, I beat him. I beat him, so I deserve, you know, what I deserve. You feel me? And that's how it needs to be, bro. You know what I'm talking about? It don't need to be a situation to where you sitting there and you, oh man, I'm trying to get these fights, but they don't want to fight me. So, you know, what can I do? There's a lot you can do. Start accepting whatever they're going to offer you and fight these fights. If Devin Haney, let's just say, Devin Haney offer you $2 million to fight and he getting $8, take that $2 million. Take that risk. Especially if you know for sure that, hey man, I can beat this dude. Take that risk. Take that risk, fight him and beat him. Because the reward is greater, you know what I mean? The reward's gonna be greater than the risk. You fight Devin Haney, you beat him, boom. Now, that $2 million, right, that they were gonna give you, now that boosts up to $6-7 million, right? Also, you done fought a fighter that Tank ain't fought. So now you like, okay, I come to the table and say, I beat Devin Haney. Tank, you ain't fought Devin Haney. So if you come to the table to Tank, now you got more leverage. Right now, Shakur doesn't have any leverage when it comes to a Tank fight. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. Like, and that, I'm just saying if Tank beats Lamont Roach, which I think he will, but if Tank beats Lamont Roach and he's successful, Lamont and Shakur try to come to the table, Shakur got to accept whatever Tank give him. So if Tank say, hey, you get 1.5, that's what he getting. You know what I mean? Shakur can't sit there and be like, I don't want to take that. Then you don't want to fight. You know what I mean? Tank gonna move on to the next. Tank not like Errol. When Errol like, all right, I'll give you whatever out of my own pocket. You know what I mean? So, I just think Shakur, his hindrance to superstardom is because of him. his allegiance to, oh, that's my brother, I love him, he got me right for an hour. Like, all that love stuff, like, bro, throw that stuff away. You know what I mean? And then this whole tough guy image he trying to portray. Bro, every picture you see of Shakur, he like a little kid in the gym. Nothing gangster. And it's just crazy how he's like taking on this image of, like, you know, and he talking like gangsters, like, bro, like, you're not like that. You know what I'm saying? And we're not saying you're not like that, like you weak. You could be a damn good fighter and, you know, not be gangster. It's cool. David Haney not gangster. But David Haney beating a lot of dudes up who really from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Nah, David Haney got in a situation with Ryan Garcia and he let that boy put them paws on him, right? But at the end of the day, if you can fight, you can fight, bro. Regardless of where you from. I know boys that live in Sugarland out here. Y'all ain't from Houston. Sugarland is like a suburb out here. It's looked at as like, it's very nice, right? It's clean. That's where I'm at right now. It's very clean, you know, pretty expensive, depending on where you go. But Sugarland is nice. I know dudes that box out here in Sugarland, they'll whoop anybody, they'll whoop some boys from the hood. If I take them to Greenspoint and they got in a fight, this boy from Sugarland gonna whoop that boy from Greenspoint. If you can fight, you can fight. That's what it is, bro. You know what I mean? So you don't have to put on a tough guy role. That's another thing where I think his profile take it, because a lot of people see right through that. They looking at that, they're like, bro, like, you're not even like that for real, bro. And I know why he act like that, because he rode with Jay Prince and them, you know what I mean? And Jay Prince is a legend down here, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know too much about his sons, you know. My wife kind of know his sons, you know. I don't know too much about the sons, but I know a lot about Jay Prince, the head honcho, the guy, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I know about him is he really about everything he talking about. He just real, he move real strategic, mob style, you know what I'm saying? But it's like at the end of the day, just be yourself, bro. It's kind of like Drake. Shakur reminds me of Drake. You know what I mean? Where like they just like adopted this tough guy role. You know, Drake used to be singing and I just wanna, and then next thing you know, over the course of the years, he started rapping about gangster stuff. You know, shoot that nigga and then hit that. You be like, shooting, bro. You was on the grassy. That's how we look at Shakur, right? We look at Shakur like, bro, you was on the grassy, bro. But I don't know. I think that's what's hindering him. Is, dang, she ain't even stop at that stop sign. See? Texas, bro, be careful you driving. But I went over my time limit. I said 9 minutes. It's 13 minutes in the video. But that's what hindered Shakur. It's him. The tough guy thing and the whole brotherly love thing. He is blocking his own superstardom. Hey, let me know what y'all think. Let's go.